I am the bedazzled one. So Agatha Christie wrote for cinema even before cinema. I mean, Agatha Christie feels like she wrote for cinema even before cinema, didn't she?
She really did, and I do love your sparkly microphone. Agatha Christie, she absolutely was writing serialized television before there was such a thing. Every year, her audience knew that they would have a Christie for Christmas, they called it, and you could rely on being lavishly entertained for anywhere from 300 to 550 pages in that time of year, and you would pass the books around your family, and it was a wonderful thing, and she did it for decades. She's a writer to admire for any age.
When you write those characters, can you imagine all those big stars attached to them?
The truth is, when you write those characters, you hope and pray for big stars. You hope that you write something that merits it, but you can't expect something like this. This is beyond any expectation. From the moment Ken Branagh signed on, and he and I were talking, and he said, I think Judi Dench just said yes, and I went, holy shit, beep, sorry, I'll have to leave that. But it was a holy shit moment where it's, if we're starting with Kenneth Branagh and Judi Dench, where might it go? And it went to this. So couldn't have been luckier, and couldn't have dreamed this big.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, I love your tie.
Oh, I love your microphone.
Exactly, which is all in tune.
Yeah, beautiful.
Which?
Hi. Hello. Nice to see you again.
Hi. Hello. Yes. Hi.
It all comes to the theme of the film. It's all about the glamour. Even as a butler, it's all very glamorous. All the details.
It was a very glamorous period. If you were wealthy.
Yeah.
If you were rich. Yes.
Working for the rich.
Oh, working for the rich. Yes. Yes.
What would you say you enjoyed most about this whole experience? The company you kept, being with Johnny Depp, being on that train, many reasons.
All those things. But I think for me, it was the camaraderie. It was the atmosphere. It was fun. It didn't feel like work, and you had to keep reminding yourself you were getting paid to do this, and you were having such fun.
How inspired are you now by a soap opera?
Totally inspired. Count me in. Please and thank you.
I'll serve you eggs. 2 perfectly boiled eggs.
2 perfectly boiled eggs. Thank you very much.
Oh, is that a Belgian?
It's definitely a Poirot thing.
And your favorite costume? That's my only question.
Oh, the costume with the veil. If I could wear a veil every day to the supermarket, to whatever, I would.
Thank you so much. Glamour in this movie, every single detail, the prop, it must have been quite exciting.
It was exciting. I mean, the costumes, or the costumer is Alex Byrne, is so brilliant in her attention to detail. And by the time an actor comes on, the costume designer has usually been on for months and months, and so they really, in some ways, know more about the character than you do, and you're just beginning your exploration. And so I always find it incredibly helpful.
Those characters are so rich. Do you think Agatha Christie wrote for cinema without even knowing it?
Without even knowing it. Her characters are rich. I think that's why they stand the test of time, I think, because they are so rich.
Did you have favorite novels of her? Did you read many of them? What do you find most fascinating?
I wasn't really a fan growing up, but I am now, and that wasn't my genre, really.
How was the company you keep in this kind of film? Obviously, very small environments, filming this with fellow great actors. It must have had a heightened sense of pleasure.
We had so much fun, and we were probably all of us were a bit trepidatious when we found out on our first day of shooting that once we entered the train, you couldn't leave. And we were, what? What do you mean? So they would let us go to the restroom if we really needed to go, but that felt kind of cruel and unusual. But we ended up having so much fun together, and I don't know how we passed the time. We played games, we had funny people entertaining us, so.
And good acting helps sometimes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Comes to the film, no jealousy there, I guess. It was just such a team effort, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, no jealousy there. Except maybe there's a little bit of jealousy of Ken's mustache.
That's true. Everybody wants that.
Everybody wants the stash. I did my best to, grow my mustache out for 6 weeks, and it still looks like I'm a 12-year-old boy. So.
You know what we're going to talk about?
really good. I'm enjoying the premiere. Are you?
Let's do a quick thing again.
Oh, he's got a special. He's bringing out his special equipment. There you go.
It's not gonna go. We'll do
Okay.
I do have a question. With your love of literature and Shakespeare and Agatha Christie, all those authors that wrote for cinema without even knowing it, how interesting is it when it starts with a book?
It means that you have to find the translation. You have to understand how to go from one medium to another. And with Agatha Christie, it's her love of the exotic and the spectacular, unusual and often remote locations. That gives you a chance to use a spectacular approach, a 70mm approach that can literally transport the audience. I think she does that in the books. We try and find the cinematic equivalent, which is that format and those actors.
And we're better than the Royal Albert Hall to premiere it, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a scene that feels rich with potential. Great events have happened in there. I hope one's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, she's gonna go first.
The experience of this film must have been so delicious. I mean, there's so many reasons. Great acting, great script, great character.
You've seen it already. He doesn't want to show us. Maybe today he asked us to leave again because we haven't seen anything.
No, it's beautiful. It's in 70mm. It kind of makes you dream. So the experience wasn't a little bit like that, a bit like a holiday of acting.
Yeah, but our experience, we worked a lot in a studio and in the wagon on the train, and then when we see the trailers, I feel like, where was all that? It's incredible what they did. And even if we know always about the process of post-production, we know because that's what we do. But it's mind-blowing, it's shocking, because we remember where we were, and it's magic. He did magic.
So there were many reasons why this was such a pleasant project to be part of. If you had to pick one, what was the most awesome part for you?
Getting to work with everyone, because I think when you don't expect something to happen, and then you're there and you don't expect to feel a certain way, and suddenly, I thought, there's no way I'm going to get this role, there's no way I'm going to be good enough to be here, and then when people make you feel so welcome, that suddenly you're like, oh my god, I'm part of this. That is just amazing, and really I don't think it's got anything to do with people's ability, actors, it's just wonderful people.
How familiar were you with the novel, and how much more of a fan are you of Agatha Christie now?
Do you know, I know a lot of Agatha Christie, but I had not read the book.
Yeah.
So I read the script first, and then I read the book, because my lovely agent got me a first edition. And I was happy that Mary Debenham's slightly warmer in the film, and the relationships I get to have in the film are awesome.